In the silence of the night, have you ever stopped walking in the dark? You see nothing, yet your heart begins to race. That is not imagination. It is an alarm system older than civilization itself. For early humans, darkness was never empty. It was filled with unseen predators. In a world without fire or light, night meant you lost your vision. But they did not. Those who survived the night were not the bravest, but the most cautious. Fear made them stop. Fear kept them alive until dawn. Even today, you may never encounter a snake in your life. Yet the moment you see one, your body freezes. This is not learned. It is written into your nervous system. The primate brain evolved a fast pathway for detecting snakes. Their shape, their movement, their stare. Before you can think, fear has already taken control. Imagine standing on a prehistoric plain. The ground begins to tremble. A life form 10 times your size moves slowly toward you. In that moment, there is no thinking, only escape. For most of human evolution, we were not hunters. We were prey. Fear of giant creatures is an honest response to overwhelming power. Today, you sit in a safe room, yet you still fear darkness, snakes, and giants. Not because you are weak, but because your brain remembers how to survive. Fear is not a flaw in humanity. It is the final message left by an ancient world. Be careful. You are here because you listened. Your body lives in the 21st century, but your brain still lives 100,000 years ago. Every day it asks the same question: will I survive this moment? In evolution, the brain was not designed to make you happy, but to prevent fatal mistakes. One mistake could mean no future at all. A sound moves in the grass. Is it the wind or a predator? Choose wrong once and the cost is death. So the brain learned one rule: better to fear falsely than to feel nothing at all. This is why, even when nothing is there, the darkness still feels alive. Fear activates hundreds of milliseconds faster than logic. Before you understand, your body has already moved. This pathway bypasses thought and connects directly to action. Because in the prehistoric world, those who hesitated did not survive long. Have you noticed? Horror movies rarely change their formula: dark spaces, sudden creatures, something larger than human. Because they are not frightening you. They are awakening your ancestors' memories. You sit in safety, yet allow your brain to enter survival mode. It is an evolutionary paradox, practicing fear without real danger. Like early humans sitting around a fire, retelling the stories of how close they came to death. If you did not fear the dark, your ancestors may have died at night. If you did not fear snakes, your bloodline might have ended long ago. Fear did not block civilization. It made civilization possible. Before learning language, infants already recoil from certain shapes. A face moving too close, long twisting forms, large shadows blocking the light. These fears exist before words are ever learned. They are not taught, they are evolutionary defaults. We do not inherit memories, but we inherit responses. When a threat repeats for hundreds of thousands of years, the brain stops waiting to learn. It installs the response by default. In the dark, the most frightening thing is not teeth, but being watched. 2 faint reflections are enough to freeze the body. Because in the ancient world, the moment you noticed the gaze, it was often already too late. Fear of giant creatures is not only about being killed, it is about something worse: powerlessness. A size difference means everything you know may suddenly become useless. City lights did not erase fear of the dark. Technology did not remove our reflexive fear of snakes. Civilization was built on top of fear, not instead of it. In prehistoric nights, fear brought humans together, closer to the fire, closer to one another. Fear shaped families, tribes, societies. It did not isolate humans, it connected them. When you stop in the dark, you are not alone. Behind you stand hundreds of thousands of survivors. What you feel is not a mistake. It is how humanity made it this far. In the dark, you see a rope, but your brain whispers it could be a snake. You know it isn't, yet your heart still races. Fear was never designed to be accurate. It only cares about one thing: survival. Darkness removes boundaries. Snakes move unpredictably. Giant beings cannot be controlled. They share one thing: you don't know what happens next. To the brain, uncertainty is more frightening than pain. Today, you are no longer chased by beasts, yet you still fear. Losing control, falling, being overwhelmed. Fear only changed its shape. Giants in myths, dragons in legends, monsters in films, they never truly disappeared. We only renamed them, because humans need a form to contain what cannot be spoken. When you feel fear, your brain is scanning the world for you, not to torture you, but to locate an escape. Perhaps one day humans will conquer darkness, eliminate venomous snakes, and control every giant force. Yet fear will remain, because fear does not come from the world. It comes from why you are still alive. You think you feel fear, but in reality, fear happens before you are aware of it. Heart rate rises, muscles tense, breathing shortens. Only then do you realize, I am afraid. Daylight gives the world boundaries, distance, direction, exits. Darkness erases the map. When the brain cannot find an exit, it chooses its oldest strategy: freeze, then prepare to flee. Humans are good at predicting straight lines, rhythms, patterns. A snake's movement breaks all of them. It is not disgust, it is fear of losing prediction. Before something immense, humanity's deepest fear is not death. It is insignificance. When you are too small, even running feels meaningless. In darkness, the brain fills in the gaps, because emptiness is more dangerous than being wrong. What you see may not be real, but every one of those illusions once saved a life. When you are afraid, time stretches. Every second becomes anticipation. This is not an illusion. It is the brain slowing the world down to keep you alive. Not all humans made it this far. If you feel these fears, you belong to the lineage that survived. Tonight, when the lights go out, you may stop again. Not because the dark is dangerous, but because your brain still remembers how to survive. The darkness did not move closer. It did not attack. It did nothing. It simply existed. What stopped you was not the dark, but what your brain awakened inside it. When fear rises, your world shrinks. Sounds sharpen, vision narrows, only you remain. Because in the ancient world, survival was not about understanding everything, but about focusing on the next step. A snake does not move like running or jumping. It moves like time, without rhythm, without direction. That uncertainty denies the brain its ability to see what comes next. When something is immense, it does not merely occupy space, it redefines it. Direction, distance, escape. In that moment, they lose all meaning. In fear, you stop thinking about the future. You are reduced to breath, heartbeat, muscle. This is not regression. It is evolution at its most precise. Night always feels longer, because fear makes every second worth noticing. Before you, others stopped in the same darkness. They heard sounds, saw shapes, and chose to wait. If they had not stopped, you would not be here today. When the world falls asleep, fear remains awake, not to frighten you, but to stand watch on your behalf.